Welcome back to the CHG podcast, everybody. Welcome back to us. Actually, I feel like everyone should be saying hello to us. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, actually, as a matter of fact. So my name is
Finals are
RJ.
done.
Yes, it's because he's done with school now for a little while.
Yeah.
My name is RJ. That's David over there.
What's up?
Casual Hardcore Gamers CHG. This is a gaming podcast where we talk the gaming news industry, things of that nature, and hopefully be funny or informative or both, even though we're probably neither most of the time.
Most likely, yeah.
So, as every podcast, we're gonna start with what we're playing, and it's been a fat minute. It's been so long. I have started and finished games before we have talked last.
Well, let's get the Clips Notes version.
Yeah, I have played WRC 6, the latest one in my journey across all the WRC games, which there are like 11. So I am at 6 now. It took fucking forever because there's 2 trophies that are just I could tell you they were just pure grind, and you're like, gotta get that money. And I was like, this is not the game for that. It's not a live service game. But I did it. One of the trophies was glitched, so I was getting really scared that I was gonna have to get 1,000 complete 1,000 stages, and it was debated whether or not what's called super special stages counted. People said yes, some people said no, and some person actually said yes, and he provided a screenshot of him getting the trophy in a super special stage. And so it was like, you can't really prove any clearer than this. So I was like, okay. So I'm going through it. And the reason why people wanted to know, because those stages are usually shorter, so you can cut the grind faster. So
6
strats. And so I'm going through it all, and I hit the 1,000, and I don't get it. And I'm like, fuck me. So then I'm just going through more stages, and I think 50 or 70 stages later, it finally popped, and I was like, I don't even care at this point. So finished that. I got the platinum, deleted that right off. I actually had to get another friend, King Lionel Flocks, to buy the game because it was some online trophies, and I didn't want to bug you about it, and so I got him to do it, and so now I owe him $15. I'm gonna put it on a tab, and then I started Ratchet and Clank 2, going commando on the PS5, the latest one, with the PlayStation Plus Premium thing. It is that you have to stream. Didn't have any more issues. Didn't really have any issues with that either. Been holding up pretty well, so I'm happy about that. Again, these are old. These aren't PS3 games. I mean, they're the PS3 remasters, but they're not PS3 games. So I'm thinking that plays a factor. I don't care. So second one done. I finished it up, I think, a couple days ago. So that's all done. And then Neo, I am at the last floor of that Abyss endgame mode, and I can't beat it. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to beat it because the 2 bosses, it's a double boss battle, which makes sense, but it's against 2 human bosses that by themselves I have problems with. They're like the 2 of like 4 bosses that I actually struggle with, like that I will die like a couple times sometimes. But both of them together is just stupid. And so I'm trying to put out little choco cups for people to come to my game, but no one's coming yet. I'm like, I can't.
Everyone's like, we don't want to deal with that shit. You can fucking.
Well, the thing is, because I know. No, here's the thing. I know
right off.
if I had someone, I would win, because most players who were playing Neo 1, they did the Living Weapon, which you don't know about because that wasn't in Neo 2. But it's you activate it the same way as you would in Neo 2 when you could turn into a demon for a little while. You activate it the exact same way, but instead of turning into a demon, you did your guardian spirit that you do, that's in Neo 2. Essentially that imbues with your weapon, and there's entire builds set around activating that, like boosting your attack when you do it, keeping that bar or how long you can be in that frame like active and replenishing and all that stuff and everything. And most people just cheese bosses by making builds that because even though they did nerf it, they didn't nerf it enough to where like it's not usable.
Still the most viable.
And I've had people come into my games when I was in lower floors, just one hit melts, I'm just like, all right, I don't even care.
That was fun.
But I mean, I'm not even mad about it. I'm like, hey, I got it done. It's done. So I don't care. And I know that would melt one of these bosses like easy. I know that's how I know that's all I need is one of them to go away, just one, and I'd be fine. But I can't find anybody. And the thing is, because my build isn't built on living weapon, it never was. I never really did that. And also, I'm an axe user, and that doesn't really play well with that stuff, anyways. So I've been doing fine up until this floor, and so it's just, yeah. I did find that there's another thing you can do, what's called, which I don't have in any pieces that I have, but it's reducing projectile damage. I think that's what the phrase is, RPD or something like that, or RFD, firearm damage. Because both of those guys, they have range stuff where they'll shoot some beam or something at me from far away. But the thing is, it does elemental damage, which is the real problem, because it does wind elemental damage, which reduces your attack, which sucks ass. But if you have reduced firearm damage in Neo 1, it actually, not only will you be able to block that attack, because that's considered a firearm attack, but the elemental damage will not be applied either. So I may have to just look at that and see if that would be like a huge problem for me to put into like a piece or something. Because if you get that to 100%, I've read in the comments, like it immensely helps.
Gotcha. Give me one second. I gotta get some away from my dog real quick. Sorry, interruption.
I may have to look into that if I can't find anybody. And if I can't, I mean, I have tried a handful of times, and it's just
you're right at the finish line, man. You just gotta.
But it's like come on, I don't care if I have help, and I don't care if they even kill all the bosses for me. I don't even care at this point. Just to have like that cleared, it would be just like, holy shit, like. I have no shame. I don't care how it gets done. I just want it done. I don't really care how it gets done. I just want it done. And it's so close. So yeah, I mean, so beyond that, I think I'm going to start Crysis 1 on the PS3. I played it when I was in California in September, but I wasn't playing like on my TV, and I was far away from the TV, as I was getting a headache while I was playing it. So I couldn't really get engrossed and really kind of like, actually sit down and really give my attention to it. So I'm going to restart it and give that a go. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yes.
Have you had any time to play anything?
Yeah, I mean, So me and Serena, we started Emerald, Pokemon Emerald.
Emerald?
Yeah.
And Soul Silver?
No, that was later. So we started Emerald because I finally convinced her, because for the longest time she didn't want to play any Pokemon without Charmander. She says, I'm not playing Pokemon without Charmander. But then I showed her, because she's obsessed with chickens. It's one of her things that she's obsessed with. So I was like, hey, in Emerald, there's a fire, because she loves fire starters, because Charmander. It's like, there's a fire starter that's a chicken. And she's like, ooh. So I convinced her to play Emerald. And she liked it enough, but she got annoyed, because for anyone who hasn't played Ruby, Diamond, or Emerald, or no, it's Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. There is a lot of backtracking in that game, especially towards the climax. So
what?
Yeah, yes, yeah. You go to their hideout, and then the boss is at Mount Pyre. So then you have to go to Mount Pyre. Then you have to backtrack to the lair, and now he's, especially in Emerald, because then you have to go find the Team Aqua and go over it. There's a lot of backtracking.
They're in different areas though every time you fight them.
Yeah.
So how's that backtracking?
Because you have to go back to the lair to get the information on where they're at.
No, I didn't have to do that.
You do. You're not remembering, but you do. I just played it.
You played it wrong.
No.
That's what happened. You
played it wrong. There's a lot of backtracking, so she got annoyed, and she was like, I don't want to play this anymore. I was like, okay, how about we play Soul Silver, where there is she's also obsessed with bears, and Teddy Sora is in
Teddy Ursa,
whatever. Teddy Ursa is in Soul Silver. So she was
it's not.
Yes, it is.
As you wait.
It is.
Wait.
It's exclusive. It's actually in both. I looked it up.
Which one? No, I looked it up too.
I looked it up. Wait, no.
That's how I found out.
No, you're right. I was thinking about another one. My bad.
It's gold.
No, I was thinking Houndoom.
Wait, no, you were. Wait,
no, it's exclusive. It's exclusive to Soul Silver. I was thinking Houndoom.
Yes, but you were playing Heart Gold. but you were playing Heart Gold.
No,
though, weren't you?
I always play Heart Gold because of Growlithe being exclusive to Soul Silver. But this time I wanted.
But you played Soul Silver.
But
Tertius is in Heart Gold.
No, it's in Soul Silver.
Then why did you cheat to get it?
Because
I told you how to get it. It's not hard to get. It's in a route. In the morning.
It's a 5% chance of getting it.
They must have changed it then, because in the originals it's 10%.
Oh well, it's still. So we were both like, whatever, we'll use this one time. So we put in a cheat to auto encounter Teddysaur or Teddy Ursa, Teddy Sora, whatever, fuck it. The Teddy Bear.
Ursa.
Teddy Bear Mon.
She better not evolve it, because she's not gonna like what it
evolves. No, she likes it too. Yeah. She loves grizzly bears.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And she's even like, it has to be a female because female grizzly bears attack people more often. My wife is weird. Okay. But anyway, so we're playing through Soul Silver now. So that's what I've had time to do. And then I will eventually be playing. I planned on playing it yesterday, but we went and got my new phone instead, and it took for fucking ever. High on Life came out on Xbox Game Pass plug.
Never fails.
Free on Xbox Game Pass.
Never fails.
It looks really cool. My brother-in-law is already playing it, and I don't know what movie he was talking about, but some kind of like I don't know, like underground like movie. Let me get the name of it. But there is a full watchable movie like in the first level of the game that you can just turn on and watch. It is.
A whole movie.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
That's funny.
I don't know. I've never heard of that movie, but
feature-length movie. Just
Tammy and the T-Rex. Just you can turn on your TV and it's just playing on the TV. But anyway, it's from the co-creator of Rick and Morty. They had that other VR game that was actually I heard was a pretty good VR game.
I mean, for VR, but the bar isn't very high for VR.
Yeah, it's exactly. But this is like a first-person, like a RPG-ish kind of thing. It looks funny and it looks fun, so I'm going to be playing that tomorrow if I don't pick up a job.
Yeah.
So
I watched someone play it. I watched someone play it today actually, as recording this recording, and the guns do talk a lot. I will say that. So I didn't expect it to be that much, but yeah, they talk a lot.
Yeah. They're like, splat me, use the splatter.
Well, like she got the creator I was watching, Prog Shadow, plug to you. She was in the slums, and like this kid was like aggravating you to hit him, and the gun was like, I'm not gonna shoot a kid. I'm not shooting a kid, and he was like, no, do it, push me, like this, and she like shot him in the foot, right, and the kid dies, and she's like, she's like, how are you dead? Like I shot you in the foot, but the gun is like, you happy? We killed a kid. Are you happy? Are you happy now? We killed a kid. Are you happy now? We're murderers. We murdered a kid. We murdered a child. I'm like,
and then his mom's just like,
yeah, just
whatever.
Well, he was asking for it.
Yeah, I'll be playing that hopefully tomorrow. So, and then more Soul Silver.
Cool. That was fast. Probably the fastest one we've ever done, which is good because your headphones are going to die, so it's good.
They are.
So to kind of bring a little funny thing here, or a little fun question here for the day, I wanted to ask you. So there's a bit of a spiff because I've been watching this other channel and they have a podcast, and I kind of get inspiration from that, but I'm going to change it a little bit. So if you could go back to three specific gaming periods, which one would you choose? And the three are the time frame between the PS1 era to the PS3 360 era.
Okay.
Which one of those three would you want to go back to the most?
Well, you only said one era.
I said PS1 to the PS3.
Oh, so any of okay. I thought you said like
between
you were gonna
those
say
three,
like that period of time.
No,
okay,
sorry. Right. PS1 era is one time frame. PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and then the PS3 360 Wii.
So my gaming history. So when the PlayStation 1 came out, that period of time, I was playing the Super NES.
That's fine. Yeah, because it was like so Sega, SNES was out around the same time. N64.
Well, no. Like I was playing the old stuff because I didn't have money to buy.
Well, the SNES was still relevant until like I think 96 or 97.
Yeah.
When
but no, I mean, but yeah, I never played in. I wasn't playing the current shit until late in the PlayStation, like the PlayStation 2 Slim era was when I actually had something that was current. But no, I would relive 360 easy. You have like all of my favorite games, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, um, all like the classic, the good NCAA football games, the good Madden games. Yeah, hands down 360 era. Like I would caveat that with like, my love for Gran Turismo 2 might make it so I want to play PlayStation 2 again, especially if it was like the for the first time kind of thing. Like if you could go back and relive it for the first time, if that's what we're asking, um, that might have it, because that was such a like magical moment for me, just because like that was the first like real video game experience. Like I said, I played the SNES and stuff like that, but when I really started to love video games was playing Gran Turismo 2 with my cousin who was living with us. But that being said, it's still hands down 360, just because if I could relive playing Fallout 3 for the first time, or New Vegas for the first time, I mean, again, one of the things I bring up every fucking podcast, I would sell my soul, not literally, because, want to go to the...
No, literally. Literally. He would give up his access to God himself.
So like I would give up a lot. There's not much I would not give up in my gaming life. We'll put it that way. Like I would give up any of these new games that we're about to talk about for the podcast today. I would fucking shut all that shit down for a remake of 3 in New Vegas. I don't give a shit. And there's some games I'm excited for that we're going to be talking about, and it doesn't even compare. Like fuck Elder Scrolls 6. Just shut all that shit down. Put everybody on a remake of 3 in New Vegas.
All hands on deck. Reshuffle everybody.
Yeah. You bring everyone in. I want fucking what's the head of Bethesda? What's his name?
Todd. Oh, well, he's not the head. He's just the one everyone knows.
Whatever. He needs to be in the room. Yeah, I know he can't do nothing because he's just the fucking spokesperson, but he just needs to be in that room because everybody needs to be there making that game. He can run, get coffee for people. He can give motivational speeches, whatever it needs to be. That's what he needs to be doing. So
no, he's actually the head of marketing. He's the CMO.
Cool. Market the shit out of getting that game done. He can be in there making fucking billboards saying, go coders go, fucking make this game shit. So yeah,
he can tell you once again that it just works, and you're like, yeah,
it just works.
I'll buy it.
Yeah,
I'll buy it.
Yeah, that game, literally that game would just work. That game would just work. Like I know it's just like it can't just be me, right? Like it can't just be me that would lose my shit for a legitimate remake. Like I would even settle for just like a port, like with a few like shaders and shit upgrade, but like a legitimate remake of 3 in New Vegas. You cannot tell me that wouldn't, like in an age of nostalgia where they're, where we're bringing shit back or whatever, like that shit would hit so hard. But yeah, so I digress. So my answer is 360. You?
Wow, what an answer. I'm torn. I'm a bit torn because, like yourself, I came into the PS1 era late. It's funny, I actually owned a Sega N64 in PS1 during my youth, but at different times, and I don't know why. I have no idea why, but I did own them all at points. And maybe some were at the same time. I couldn't tell you, but I do remember playing all of those. And it's tough because as far as like a just a breadth of games or just moments or feelings for any one of those systems, PS1, even though it gave me Spyro and Crash, Tony Hawk, those are only a few games, right? They mean a lot. They amount to a lot for me, but there are only 3 franchises. And but the PS2 gave me like a lot of shit. And as far as like just like now finally discovering games, being able to register and understand games better, you know, and really kind of really appreciate them, you know, like Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Jack 1, because Jack 2 fucking sucks ass, and I would say that I want that on my fucking tombstone, that Jack 2 sucks ass.
Put it in your will. You got to make a will, bro.
I will, and I want you to say it in my eulogy. Okay. Say, and he wants to let everybody know Jack 2
I'll just come ass. Up, tears in my eyes, just like really calm myself down. Jack 2 sucks.
Jack 2 sucks ass. And then walk out.
Just
and that's all you
out,
do.
just
that's
crying.
all you do.
Just tears.
Walk out.
Tears
and then back to crying. I
just go over and hug your mom. It's just like, it's okay. His message is heard.
Yeah, and also, you know, talk about sports, you know, sports games, wrestling games were just the fucking best on the PS2 era. Just out of control good. That SmackDown series hit its stride in the PS2. I didn't play Just Bring It, but people say that's really good. But Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, which most people still say is the best one ever. I don't think so, but Here Comes the Pain, and then the SmackDown versus Raw series was just fucking phenomenal. The first one was a great start. 2006 is my favorite. 2007, pretty good. 2008 is when they hit the PS3 era, so next generation. But like those ones in the PS2 era, insane. And even on the GameCube, you had Days of Reckoning? I think 1 and 2 were apparently are really good GameCube exclusive wrestling titles. Xbox kind of got shafted, but still there was just wrestling games were just out of control great. And my wrestling fans out there, my wrestling buddies, you guys know how good those used to be. It was just banger after banger. Kind of like with sports games. I mean, this is weird. Like the yearly formula has been around since the PS2 era, right? But for some reason back then they were just hitting banger after banger after banger.
Well,
but
yeah,
now it's like it's just doo-doo now.
It was the same way with other sports games. Like the best Madden games were definitely PlayStation 2 era. Like 05, 07. Those were the best ones. Yeah.
The NBA games, and I've looked at reviews on some of those.
NBA, I'll give to 2K11. 2K11 through 2K13 was probably the best ones for me, and then NCAA 14 is hands down the best college.
I still feel part of that is just because it's nostalgia.
No. It's really not, because I used to think that it was NCAA 12. But then I really got into because NCAA, probably 9 through 12 were all the same pretty much, give or take. It was just clear, just improvements here or there, keywords, kind of like how Madden was getting around that time. But then I don't know what the fuck happened. But 14, they changed everything about how franchise worked, about how dynasty mode worked. And it was just it was hard to get adjusted to because, we just had spent 4 years doing the same thing. But after you got into it, it was just so much better. The engine, this is what I just didn't understand about Madden and NCAA. You think that they would be the same teams using the same engines, and they were kind of, but whereas Madden was fully embracing pre-scripted animations at the time, NCAA had a physics system, and they had a lot of animations, but a lot of the action was dictated on their physics engine. And again, it was updated. It was a new physics engine for 14 as well, if I remember right. I remember it playing way differently. So yeah, 14 hands down is the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, conversely with wrestling, it was still arcadey for a long time. Because, I mean, they didn't use years back then. But from, Shut Your Mouth all the way up to, when I played 12 was the last one. WB 2012 was the last one I played. And they started just getting more and more sim as it went through. And I'm like, this is not exactly what I wanted. And I don't know if that's what the fan base wanted necessarily. But, if we could maybe go back to because it was just simple. X was attacks, circle was grabs, L1 or R1 was a special, triangle was something else. Super simple controls. And yeah, they would add a couple things here and there, but they still were pretty simple. And didn't really make it seem too simmy. But now I feel like it's gone too too full blown sim as far as controls are. Now you could tell me I'm wrong. Like I said, I haven't played one since 12, but it just seemed to be going that way. But back then it just was. That's why it was so much fun, because it was so arcadey and full of unlockables. Just everywhere, just unlockables everywhere. Unlocking all these costumes, moves, sets, venues, all this and that was just wonderful. But anyway, so that's like the PS2 era, right? So a lot of early good memories. Mortal Kombat Deception, still my favorite Mortal Kombat game to this day. And I don't think even when I do eventually get to play 10 or 11, it's going to beat Deception. I don't think it will. But so it gave me that. But then the PS3 gave me more like moments per se. Like I felt like I was part of more like just
gaming
things
history.
happening. Yeah, I felt like I was just more, even though I didn't really play the games, I was like a participant, like an observing participant, right? To say that like I remember this, like I remember just the craze of Call of Duty's heyday, when no one hated it, well, besides me, but like no one like hated it. Everybody and their mom played. Well, not moms, I guess dads. Like every red-blooded male in America or in the world was playing Call of Duty back in 2009 up until like maybe 2012. It was just, you couldn't stop it. You just couldn't fucking stop
it. I think the height, like, the real height is Modern Warfare 2. Like Modern Warfare 3 maybe
that's the peak.
Is the level, like it leveled, like, so it wasn't worse or wasn't better, but I think Modern Warfare 2 is when it peaked.
That was peak. And then Black Ops, I think, kept that peak. If I'm arguing,
Black Ops
right?
2 was solid. I think that was the one I played.
Black Ops, well, the first Black Ops, I think that kept that peak because that story was on like any campaign, even to this day. To this day, they haven't really topped a campaign with Black Ops and Black Ops 2. And so, and that deserves some credit. For an FPS, that deserves some credit. And Modern Warfare 3 maybe brought it down a tiny bit. But still didn't like bring it down crazy. It wasn't really until Ghosts when we started making the
Ghosts.
That's when everything started taking down.
The first one
Ghosts
where
was
it went
not
bad.
good. And actually, my brother and I, some months ago, we were hanging out and we actually looked up the sales. I found an article that talked about the sales of like a lot of Duty games, and I forget but like obviously in Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, the numbers were stupid, right? Just utterly stupid. But then like when Ghost hit, the take was crazy bad. Advanced Warfare didn't do much better.
I remember Ghost came out. I bought it. Me and my friend Ryan bought it, and then we played it for a little bit, and then we were like, "You want to go back to Black Ops 2?" And we were like, "Yeah." And we just went back to Black Ops 2, and the lobbies were hot. Like it was like Ghost never even came out.
And then people like didn't like the infraction mode. It was supposed to be like replace zombies. They thought it was like a dumbed down version of that. And then Black Ops 3 came out, and people were like, "Really? 3? We can't find something new? 3?" And people, I mean, it was okay.
I like the wall running. I think it added something.
It came back a bit.
Yeah.
It came back a bit. But then, and I forget.
Advanced Warfare.
No, I said that first. It was Ghost, and I think Advanced Warfare after that. But anyways, it tanked. But like to say that I was part of that, like that 09, 010, 2010 era is like something kind of special nowadays. I mean, Duty, even the most rigid Duty hater can looks back at that day, that time period, and kind of like, yeah, that was something. It really was something. And then to be part of like that transition from standard definition to high definition gaming, to be able to say I was a part, like I still will never forget the bewilderment when I woke up hanging out with my buddy who his brother, I think, had just got a 360 and they were playing Gears of War, and I woke up and they were already playing it. And I had knew of the game, but I didn't really know much about it, but I just remember seeing this and I was just like this is the future. Like we're here in the future. Like I could not believe just how good
You're like, wait.
was.
There's only one cord to the back of the TV?
Yeah, what? Where's the red and the
three
and the yellow
cords,
and the...
guys. I don't think you're doing this right. There are 3 cords.
Yeah, and the thing is, he didn't even. I don't even know if they even were using HD. I think they might have been using component. I mean, that's still better. Yeah. That's still better than S video. Yeah. But still, like, I don't know if they were even using HD. But just the fact that, like, just how much more powerful that system was compared to the original Xbox, just to see that was just like I couldn't even fucking believe. Like that was insane.
Yeah. And
then be part of the Halo 3 like hype train, and in the Halo and still to this day, the best Mountain Dew game fuel to date. That Halo 3 game fuel is legendary. Just, so good. That shit was sold out at my school's vending machines on a regularly. We be waiting for that fucking lady to be coming in with the new stock at lunch. We be like, man, bitch, you better suck that shit up faster. Like, I'm thirsty.
Every row. Fuck Pepsi. Fuck anything else.
We don't need anything else. Every option should be Mountain Dew Halo game fuel. Like, every option. It was so good. And I was like, it almost made me a fan of Halo 3. Because I was like, it gave me this Mountain Dew flavor. It was so, for those, I don't know if overseas you guys got it, but those in the US, if you remember, put in the comments, because that shit was so good. And then moving forward a little bit, the craziness of Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's no Modern Warfare 2, but like, that was like the beginning of like Sony coming back, from the shit years it had before. And so, like, that crazy hype for Uncharted 2 was just was unbelievable, especially as a PlayStation fan. And so, I mean, and this isn't exactly PS3, but it came out for it. Like the Destiny hype launch and everything, like that was otherworldly.
Yeah, honestly. And then
the hype started coming out for it, while the PS3 360 was still relevant. And then Last of Us, like
ending that era on Last of Us kind of was like, oh, like it almost made you think, like when you saw Last of Us, you were like, oh, geez, sorry,
phone going crazy.
Greg, what the frick? It almost
made you think.
It almost made you think like maybe we don't need the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like
it kind of did. It kind of did.
This shit's still going.
Yeah, this shit still slaps.
Like we could have a couple more games on this level, and I'd be all right, waiting a couple years.
Yeah, I don't know what came out on the Xbox around that
almost
last year,
nothing.
But
almost nothing.
Yeah, on PlayStation, you got Last of Us, Beyond Two Souls came out, I think, that same year. Tomb Raider came out. Well, that was for both. But Tomb Raider came out, which still looked really good. Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus came out, which even for a budget title was like stupid good. And so PlayStation was getting a lot of heavy hitters in that last year or last half, year and a half. And I remember the CEO of Insomniac, who makes Ratchet and Clank and now Spider-Man, Ted Price, he actually said in an interview, he was like, and this was like at the last year too, like before the system new ones were going to come out. He was like, we haven't tapped the full power of the PS3, in my opinion. And I was like, I believe it. When I see Last of Us, I believe it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So the part of that is just like, it's like those moments, right? And then also like Last of Us came out and The Journey came out and Walking Dead Season 1 came out, right? And we started finally getting the argument, the legitimate actual argument of like, gaming is not just a nerdy little hobby thing for bottom dollar. This is like moving.
Yeah,
this is just
real
as
art.
Moving as any movie or poem or book or any other media that you is consume. Like, it moves people just as emotionally as anything else. And with those three games, with those three games kind of coming around the same time, it actually pushed that argument into an actual legitimate discussion that you could have. So to be able to say that I was a part of those moments and to be able to talk about it or like, reflect on it is something special.
Yeah.
That you don't really get nowadays, because more games are now doing it. So it's not as impactful as it once was 10 years ago, man. 10 years ago. Anyways, yeah, I know. Right?
Well,
boomers. Yeah. So I guess my answer is PS3, but I think PS3 gave me more moments, but the PS2 gave me more games. So but I think the moments are what I'm going to remember more. Like the social, moments I'm going to remember more. And then you can actually talk about that more than just a particular game. So I'm going to have to agree with you. Same era.
Well, anyway, from gaming past to gaming future.
Gaming future. Well, not necessarily. So I want to talk about, because it won't take us long. But yeah, the FTC has sued Microsoft to stop the buyout of Activision. Now we're a little bit late on that. but we just couldn't cover it. But I wanted to at least just kind of just give some early thoughts, some quick thoughts on it. We won't spend too much time because I'm sure you've heard of it in other sources, but I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't want this deal to go through, and I don't want it to go through. I really don't, and I don't care what Microsoft says about how nice they're going to play ball with Sony or Nintendo or whatever. Which, first of all, I don't care. I don't think Nintendo gives a fuck about any of this. But I don't care how much they say or whatever have you. I just think Activision is just too big of an entity to be bought out by an even bigger entity. And there's not going to be eventually some conflicts here, some creative conflicts, some actual competitive conflicts. I just don't think, that would not happen eventually. So for the sake of gaming, and I guess to a little bit, yes, to persevere Sony, I didn't want this deal to go through. And granted, honestly, I don't know if I would be as happy if Sony did it either. I mean, I wouldn't care as much, but I don't think I would be like, if I'm talking about like being as a business person or a consumer of gaming or gaming enthusiast, whatever you want to call it, I would be in agreement with this either, for the exact same reasons. Because like, even I don't give a fuck about Duty, but it's just like, if it makes Duty worse as a franchise, or makes gaming worse as a franchise, or Activision somehow even worse than they already are, it's like, I don't want that. I really don't. So I'm kind of glad FTC is suing. We'll have to see what happens, with it, if it goes through, if it actually gets heard by a court, which I imagine this kind of shit probably goes straight to the Supreme Court. Honestly, I don't even think this is small enough to be going to the lower courts. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on it. How'd you feel when you heard about it?
I mean, like I'm not surprised. I think it's such a big move in the industry that the Trade Commission had to get their hands on it. In some way, I honestly, I still think it'll go down. Buyouts of companies are rarely ever halted. So
they're usually also not this big.
I mean, you can argue that
they've given but when it happened, they gave examples of other giant ones that actually did get shut down. So I mean, buyouts happen on a regular basis, but they're not usually to this level.
But this is different in this way. Those other buyouts were buyouts where like another phone company was buying another phone company. So one kind of business buying another kind of business. Microsoft is not a gaming company. They are not a publisher. They are a technology giant. So, and then they are buying a video game publisher to have under their umbrella of corporations. So it's a little bit different. So, but like, again, I'm not a fucking lawyer, and I'm definitely, so I'm not going to say it, but I can't see it not happening. I think it'll happen eventually. Now, will some caveats be legally put in? Maybe. I don't even know if that's a thing that can happen, but like, I just don't see it not happening. As far as like, do I think it's a good thing or not? I don't know. There's part of me that says yes, that it's a good thing, because with the money backing of Microsoft, it is possible, and I would argue feasible, that the money grubby stuff that Activision has been doing might be lessened, because there won't be so much of a need for them to make that much money. Like, they're still going to want to make money, and there'll still be, microtransactions and season passes and all that sort of stuff. But I think it might allow them to focus more on the game, which would be great. We've been getting the stuff that we've seen out of the acquisitions from Microsoft have been pretty good. So, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think much of it other than like, oh, that makes sense. I figured that this would continue to get, muddier and muddier and more people involved. I figured the FTC would get involved eventually, but again, I don't see it. not happening. It's just going to take longer.
I remember when people started saying that this might, like, we would find out what happened with this, like, in the end of the summer.
Oh yeah,
and,
no,
like, now we are.
I knew this would be. I figured this would be a years long thing. Like this would be multiple
this
years.
is too big to be done in a few months.
Yeah.
To some of your points, I would say the phone one isn't exactly the best example because that is a controlled oligopoly that is controlled by the government because phones have been deemed an essential service, or phone providers, whatever, like an essential, pretty much everybody needs. And so there's a lot of regulation and controls put in place to where they only want a certain, X amount of these because there's no point of having so many other ones. From what I've read and learned about the phone industry and oligopolies, because there are some that do exist because the government is fine with them existing and they make sure that they don't get too crazy. So to that point, I don't know if that's the best example, but I will say, yes, Microsoft is not just a publisher, even though they are a publisher. Even though it is not all they do, obviously. But because they are a publisher, it's like, I don't know, like there is some overlap there. I will agree. I do think it's a good point of you pointing out about Activision may not feel so inclined to be such assholes to their consumers, more or less. It won't have to be so fucking slimy with a lot of the games that they put out. Because some of the games can get a little egregious, quite egregious. Now, I don't think it's that all the time. Like some people, as we said before, some people are just like totally just like no microtransactions, zero. I don't want nothing, and like back to the old days, I mean, neither of us really agree with that.
Yeah, but we've well discussed.
We know. I mean, we're fine with them, as long as they don't be ridiculous and make me not have fun with the game. But anyways, but I guess at the end of the day, we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens with this. I mean,
it'll be interesting to track.
It will. But it was kind of funny. I didn't put the pieces together until like someone pointed it out because, like last week, it was actually the day of the Game Awards, which is crazy. It got undershadowed because of the Game Awards. It happened on the same day, or it was announced the same day that TC was suing, and I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, they're suing. But I didn't put the pieces together because I'd also seen earlier in the week or whatever that like Microsoft was pointing out saying, like, no, don't worry guys, we'll keep Call of Duty with Sony for at least like 10 years. We'll even bring Call of Duty to the Switch. And I was thinking like, okay, this seems a bit random. I was like, oh, that's why they were saying that. Because they're trying to appease FTC. I need to put the pieces together. Until someone, I think it was the Game Rings video that pointed that out. I was like, oh yeah, that's why they were saying that. But anyways, so that's kind of our early thoughts. Like I said, we'll have to see what happens as this progresses. I mean, and if it does, I do hope that Microsoft keeps Activision in check, because Microsoft's games aren't really that bad. At least their main IPs. They're not bad at what they're like. I don't hear fans and people complaining and bitching about their microtransactions being egregious or out of control or whatever. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it.
Just
with Forza or Gears.
I think the only thing really is like Blizzard and some of the stuff that they've done with Diablo, especially Diablo mobile.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Activision. I'm talking about Microsoft. Microsoft's IPs.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Microsoft's IPs haven't really. People don't really bitch about those.
No, I mean they've done really cool stuff. Like they gave Sunset Overdrive a chance, which I mean that had nothing. Now this was a while ago, of course, but they did give it a chance. They've done other things that.
Well, like with their main IPs, like you don't hear people complaining, not too much at least, about like microtransactions being too crazy or whatever, loot boxes or whatever have you with like Halo, Gears, Forza, or any other few IPs that they have. I'm not saying they don't have them, they do, but like it's not too crazy. I remember actually Gears 5 or 4, the devs were actually talking about how do we balance the progression with having microtransactions so that it still feels fun to play, but you have that option if you want to do it, but not piss people off about it. So like they actually were taking they're actually documenting and talking about that openly, and I was like, that's kind of nice. Like I said, I don't mind them as long as you just do it with us in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and so because of their okay track record, better than most track records when it comes to that stuff. If they do end up getting Activision, yeah, they gotta fucking calm their asses down because they get insane, especially with Diablo Immortal. That is out of control. Like I've heard about it. It is stupid. And yes, I know it's a mobile game, and that sometimes comes with the territory, but god damn, son, like slow down. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to the Game Awards, which was last Friday from this recording here, on the 8th. No, Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Actually, Thursday. And I watched the whole thing live. A lot of fun.
I did not.
I think it was the first one I've actually watched live. You don't got time for that, so that didn't happen. And what I wanted to do, instead of doing a recap, because it's been a little while now, you've probably seen our recaps and shit like that. What we're going to do is I want us to talk about 3 things, good or bad, that we took out, that we kind of took most from the show.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you.
Mine'll be simple because I unfortunately didn't have a lot of time to look at anything. So I saw Game Ranks videos of like the top 10 games announced. So that's all I saw. So I don't know who won any of the awards. But,
there's so much more than just those.
Yeah, 10, I know.
Man,
but like I said, I wasn't unfortunately able to look a lot into it. But I saw like Hades 2 coming out.
I knew you were gonna mention that. That was what I was hoping you were gonna bring up. Mm-hmm.
Super fucking pumped for that. I loved Hades 1.
You sure did.
As is well documented, if you've watched these, I don't finish games almost ever. Hades, not only did I finished like I was to the point where I was going like doing the challenge modes where you like get less health, and like. Or like you can't like I don't know, a whole bunch of like random stuff to make the game harder, like just to go through the runs again. I fucking loved it. It was amazing. So
how long is a run?
As
if you were to go from start to finish,
it's been forever, but probably to go and then to beat your dad, it's probably like 35-40 minutes.
Really?
All the way through?
I thought it'd been like a couple hours.
No. Okay. No, it's pretty fast. There's like 3 or 4. Again, there's 3 or 4 levels in total until you get to Hades, and then if you beat Hades, you're done.
Cool.
So, but yeah, so there's that. I am also interested in the Transformers game. I think it's like it was just a cinematic, so like who knows? But if it is like a first person shooter with pretty good graphics where you're a transformer, like okay, that's
a cool direction for the whole franchise, because most of those games are kind of just like under the radar, either bad or under the radar.
Yeah, they've been some good ones, but I think like a first person shooter kind of thing would be interesting.
I think it could breathe life into the entire franchise.
Yeah, I mean,
if it does
I'm definitely looking at it. And then that I can't remember the name of it, but the one with all like Chuck Norris and fucking shit in it. It's like the 90s era like crimes. It's like crime something.
Yes.
That looks super interesting. Like it looks like a first person Grand Theft Auto, but like in the 90s. So that looks really cool. I think it could be it'll either be like awesome or it'll just be a fucking mess. Either way, it'll be fun to talk about. So
that went way faster than I thought you were gonna go.
Yeah, I
have my 3, but I'm gonna say 2 honorable mentions just because
you
didn't take them. First one, Armored Core. Holy shit!
Yeah, fuck! I forgot Armored Core. Yes, Armored Core. And so I forgot about Armored Core. So let me fucking talk. All right. So Armored Core. Here's the thing. I liked Armored Core as a child, like as a kid, but they were way fucking complicated. Those things are like fucking. You got to have a engineering degree to fucking build out your armor, your cores. Like it's insane. I was just like fucking fighting robots. Fuck yeah. But then, like, I'd go into a game and get, like, level 1 and just get absolutely destroyed. Like, there's a reason why they are FromSoft games. Like, you could argue that Dark Souls is a little easier than Armored Core. Like,
as far as understanding it, yeah.
If you got mad because you're like, where's the fucking story? Like, they don't even tell me what this shit does. Fuck you, play Armored Core. Like, you're like, oh, I'll just put this fucking machine gun arm on my robot. Why can't I move now? Well, you see, you didn't take into consideration your power core. Didn't have enough for all the shit you put on it. Did it tell you that you can't go into a match? No, it just put you in that fucking match and you can't move. You just can't fucking move because you're overpowered. Like, the Armored Core is a fucking insane shit. But I also like that they said like it'll kind of be Soulsy now too, because the other thing on Armored Core is it was clunky as shit. Like, it was you were piloting around a lumbering robot, and the controls were really hard. So if it is a little bit more like, I guess, dumbed down and smooth like Dark Souls, which is fucking incredible to say that sentence, that Dark Souls is dumbed down and smooth. I'll be a little happier.
Okay, are you done ranting?
Yeah, I'm done.
Continue, about it. So I am not a fan of the franchise. I just know about it, and I know it's old, and I know we haven't seen one in a long time. For those who don't know, Armored Core is a mech game. It is a long giant robots. I didn't know it went that far back, though. I didn't know there was 5 previous ones. The one
that's just the mainline ones.
The only one I knew of, which was the last one, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, was the one for the fucking Kinect. I don't know how Microsoft got From Software to make an Armored Core game for the Kinect, or not Kinect. It's for the 360. But there is one. But the thing about it that was so insane was that, and I don't know if this was required or not, but there was a special peripheral for that game.
You're thinking the wrong game, bro.
Oh, what game is that then?
That's not Armored Core.
Oh, what was that?
Battalion something.
Oh, wait, wasn't it made by FromSoft? Was it made by FromSoft
nope,
though?
I don't think so. I'm looking it up.
Was it called Steel Battalion?
Steel Battalion. Yes, Steel.
Hold up. I could have swore that was made. By at least the last one was made by FromSoft.
360 game.
Hold on. I'm writing Kinect. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay, that's the game I'm thinking of. Yeah, developed by From Software, published by Capcom.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I told you. Okay, really? Still wrong series. Oh, okay. Still wrong franchise. I'm sorry. I guess I'm still wrong.
That game was awful.
But the thing is, this game is, it's kind of like a spiritual successor of sorts from Armored Core anyways. Okay. I mean, it said you're using a tank. You're using a tank instead of a mech. But the thing about it,
walking tank was weird.
Yeah, but instead of, the thing was, besides that it was terrible, was that it required a giant ass peripheral. Have you seen it?
It is. If you weren't using the Kinect, yeah.
Which was, I guess, was a substitute for using Kinect, because the Kinect controls were, oh gosh, I mean, even for Kinect standards, they were bad. But this peripheral, you really did need to either have known how to use a tank or have like an IQ of like, I don't know what the highest IQ would be, but like having an off the charts IQ, or have an engineering degree or something to use this thing. There are so many goddamn, it would make an airplane pilot like be confused. It is ridiculous. I guess that's the wrong series, but when I thought of Armored Core from FromSoft, it made me think of that game. I thought that was
you're right. That's my bad. I did not think that was.
It's still the wrong series. I'm still kind of wrong, but it made me think of that because I was thinking like people were just like because here's the thing, a day or two after that announcement, I don't know the guy's name, Miyazaki, is that his name? Miyazaki. He actually confirmed that it's not going to have FromSoft or Soulsborne combat. Maybe controls or movement.
Gamer Ranks said that he said that it would.
I can give you an article that says otherwise. Because I read an article. That's how I found out.
It said so. Gamer Ranks said that Miyazaki said that it would have elements from our latest titles.
That doesn't mean it's going to have the combat from it though. Like because people think it's going to be a Soulsborne game, and he wanted to confirm this is not going to be a Soulsborne game.
Yeah, no. What I'm thinking is is different, but yeah, he might have said
I
that.
don't even freaking know because I never played one. All I know is that I was just thinking of. I know those games are insane because I think Steel Battalion takes inspiration from Armored Core, and so like I'm just thinking all these poor souls, are going to give Armored Core a shot because they love FromSoft and they think it's going to be something similar to that. Man, are they in for a world of hurt?
That is true.
Like
It is
it is going to
nothing.
be
Yeah.
terrible. It's going to be basically the opposite. No, it's going to be what happened with Elden Ring, but instead of with casuals, it's going to be with like I guess more hardened people because they think they're hardened, they think they're hot shit until they play some Armored Core and then they realize how good they're not. So can't wait for that to be a big controversy when that drops. Hello, cat. So that was the first honor mention. The second one was most smaller scale. Bayonetta continues to mock me in my fucking face. They released a spin-off title called Bayonetta Origins,
like a shell shaded,
like
top down,
cell shaded, top down, or like isometric, whatever, like a Diablo style point of view, where you play. It seems to be because if those who play any Bayonetta, because they run first in any of them, is that there's like this girl that kind of looks like Bayonetta, which seems to be either a daughter of some kind or like her from the past, right? And this model looks just like that model that I've seen before of her, like young Bayonetta. And so it has like a more animated, more chibi, or kind of more friendly art style. We'll see if it eventually will have some of the risqueness that the series is known for. But yeah, it's probably a smaller title. It's probably more of like an indie like quality, kind of like feel thing to it. Obviously, it's not made by an indie dev, but it looks like it might have that feel. But it's just more Bayonetta that I don't get to have because it's gonna be for the Switch only, and I hate platinum games and Nintendo forever with all my heart. So I just want to say that
you could buy a Switch.
Fuck that. I want a game with achievements and trophies that I can actually play multiple times over. I won't have the same want to do that if I don't have that behind it. So fuck you guys. I hate you. Anyway, so my three was, so first of all, I need to get something off my chest because this is the bad thing. Okay, not all this is good, but the new Crash Rumble game, fuck my life. In a bad way. Like
I thought, I honestly, when I saw it, I was like,
I am so mad.
Either RJ is gonna be hyped to shit, or he's gonna like think that this is the end of his life.
When have you ever seen me play a game of that style?
Never, but before fucking Crash Bash, when did you play a game of that style?
I never played Crash Bash because I hated it.
Oh, you didn't? Well, okay. There you go.
When I saw Crash Bash, I was like, this isn't Crash, so I just never played it. I was like, where's the platforming? Where's the jumping? Where's the gems? Where's the crystals?
That being said, this has it looks like it's the same mechanic, so it looks like it will have some platforming elements mixed into this.
It's called Rumble Bash or whatever the fuck it's called.
Like you got to like platform up to the goal. Like you could use your platforming skills competitively. I think you should give it a chance.
I'd rather kill myself. You couldn't pay me to play that game. I'm so pissed.
What if it fucking goes off? Like, what if it's such like, this is amazing. This is the best.
Good for it.
Every Crash person should play it.
They won't say that. So I'm super mad. I'm also mad because the fan base has already been split with 4. It like destroyed the fan base. Because you got people who are like myself who vehemently are just like, why can't we just have good old Crash like we used to? And you have people who also like don't like Crash 4 for a myriad of reasons. And you have people who defend it like crazy, most likely because they haven't played the other ones, or they have other reasons, but mostly because they haven't played the other ones. And you realize people like me forget that there are different eras of Crash. And even though people like me didn't play any more Crash games, like we didn't play any of the PS2 ones, no PS3 ones, but there are people who grew up and that was their introduction to Crash, was a PS2, like Twin Sanity or Wrath of Cortex or Crash of the Titans, which I don't know why that would be anyone's favorite game, but that's some of them that they grew up with, right? So they're not as jaded as I am or people like me are with that series. But like this game is now just going to further divide the fan base even more. Like we're already now toxic as crap. Now we're going to be fucking like radiation levels of toxicity. Put on your fucking rad suit from Fallout because you can't walk into that Reddit page without putting one on. So I'm just bitter. That's really all.
Well, I'll play.
Why can't I just have
And if it's
Why
good,
can't I just have a
we'll
Crash
have an
game
argument.
that has the graphic style of Insane Trilogy and plays like that? And just why can't I just have that make me happy? You know what? At this point, I'll just take a remaster of Wrath of Cortex because at least that's a closer representation of the Crash that I know than the Crash games we've been given. So, F me. Anyways, ow, that hurt. Next thing, I'm also gonna piggyback Crash City or whatever they call that, Crime City, Rockay thing, whatever.
Yeah.
All they had to do was put in Vanilla Ice, and I was sold. I saw Vanilla Ice, and I was immediately sold. I don't know where he came from.
Vanilla
I don't.
Ice, Chuck
I don't.
Norris.
No, I don't care about Chuck Norris, Danny Glover, other people. Danny Trejo, whatever his name is. I don't care about any. Vanilla Ice, Vanilla fucking Ice, is in a video game. He is in my video game, and I don't know why, but I didn't know how much I needed it until I saw it.
He better
And
have
so,
just fucking his old like shaved head, like side
if there's
hairstyle.
if there's an option to get him to look like with his mohawk from the 1990 whatever that song came out, I'm gonna lose my mind because I love that song.
Those
It's a good
parachute pants.
I fucking love. Oh my gosh, if he puts on parachute pants, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna try my system. I won't be able to handle it. I will not be able to handle him in parachute pants in my video game. I don't care if the game is bad. I don't care if it does terrible. I don't care if it's the next Cyberpunk. I don't care. It has goddamn Vanilla Ice in it. So I'm sold. Like I haven't like nothing that they showed off I was particularly excited about, but that one game, oh man, I'm my pump for that. That looks good. Well not this doesn't look good. It looks generic as hell. But has Vanilla Ice in it. So you know what? To the top of the list it goes. I don't know what's coming out. There was no release date for it, but
no.
Oh man, was that good. I even told people at work about it during like one of our little evening huddles when we close out the day. And I was like, guys, I forgot to tell you guys about the Game Awards. There's a game with fucking Vanilla Ice in it. And like a lot of my coworkers are like in their early 40s or late 30s or whatever. So like that's actually relevant to them.
Yeah.
So they're just like
this whole fucking
like,
game would be.
I know, right? Like so they're just like laughing their heads off and everything. And I'm just like, I know, right? Isn't it great? So yeah, it's my second thing. And then the third is kind of an amalgamation of some things because, I mean, I would say Tekken 8, but I actually did a video with another creator. We actually broke down some trailers from Tekken 8. And I'm kind of mixed feeling on some of the art style of Tekken 8. Like, Law looks weird as fuck, which is my main, so that's not good for me. I guess just I don't get to have nice things anymore, I guess. But some of the extra things actually were kind of nice. Like, so they started off the show, or one of the earliest awards with the main proper show, not the pre-show, was best performance. And the guy from God of War, I don't know his name, he won. And he went long. He went long on his speech. He went long, and he actually had to have music close him out to kind of get him to hey, chop,
hey,
let's keep it going. And I get it. Like with something like this, you got to run on a time frame. You got to make sure everything goes when they're supposed to go. And like, I mean, they're not. I don't know if they have any deals where like things can't go over, or whatever. Because like in TV, obviously, you got to make sure it doesn't go over because the other things going on before and after, right? But his speech actually moved me. Like I was actually tearing up a little bit, like to hear him talk about his speech. I mean, and I was like, I could have just let him just do the whole fucking thing. Like this is the award show, just giving the award to him and him talk. I'm fine with that. Like, so I understood him being kind of like, he eventually had to get musiced out because we can't. And I was actually kind of sad. I was like, is everyone going to talk for 15 minutes? I'm down with that because like I don't mind hearing people, especially from the smaller devs or the smaller people who don't know, get recognized something huge.
Yeah,
where they've never been recognized before.
Well,
that is an insane feeling.
Is big,
Oh, not him though, but
right.
I mean, but still, like it'd be nice to hear from other people who would get an award who maybe they haven't got one before or they're still really small. Like that is impactful. Like that is really means something. And I can only imagine if I was on stage like that. And I could like kind of vicariously, live through them in a bit. And so I actually wouldn't have minded if everyone was able to talk for at least like 5 minutes or so. But it was kind of sucky that they kept making fun of him about it. Like throughout the show, they kept taking jabs at like him going like too long. And I was like, man, leave him alone. Like he won best performance. Like and it's basically like they treated that award like as big as, the game of the year. So I mean, I don't know why he's not allowed to get.
It's basically best actor. You know,
more or less, he basically won Best Actor.
Yeah.
You know, for the gaming universe.
Yeah,
So
his crazy his performance. Which I haven't even played it yet, but he also did the other God of War too. So which I loved.
yeah. Wait, what?
The
You mean God of War 2018?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you mean like the other series. I was like, no, that's a different guy. So yeah, so like in that, and also like so for those who used to watch E3, one of the things a lot of us hated was the stupid musical performances they would throw in.
Mm-hmm.
They were so random. They made no sense.
White
And it usually was just to hype
guy
up
doing a flute performance, a Japanese flute performance.
no, yeah, or something stupid, right? But and it was usually to promote Just Dance. You know, it was always just dumb.
True.
Or like, they were bringing some celebrity to sing a song that like no people. It doesn't really relate to the gaming, you know, circle. So it's like, what are they doing here?
This isn't a Game Award show, but on one of the conferences for GameStop I went to, they had fucking.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you told me about your drummer from was it the drummer?
No,
from Fall Out Boy.
It was the bassist, the
bassist
Pete Davidson. No, that's the comedian.
Wait, I was like, he's a comedian from SNL.
Whoever the bassist is for Fall Out Boy, like the most famous of all of their band members. Oh my god, I need to look.
Wait, the bassist is the most famous band member,
right? It's weird. Bassist.
What's that for a twist?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Fall Out Boy.
Wow, boy.
Pete Wentz. There we go. Pete Wentz came up and played fucking Guitar Hero Live on the
badly,
stage.
I imagine.
I mean, I'm sure it was a pre-recorded video and he was just like doing it, but it was just hilarious. And we were all like, cool, I guess.
Well, the guys were saying cool. The girls were losing their shit from what you told me.
Yeah,
you told me.
Yeah, the line for his fucking signature was fucking backed up. I had to
full of the ladies, I imagine too.
I had to sit in it for fucking ever.
Yeah. God, so usually historically music performances have been like, why are they here? But the couple that I saw at the Game Awards were actually really good. So I saw the Halsey one. I don't know how you say her name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. She did a quick song that introduced Diablo 4 and like led into Diablo 4. And at first I didn't know what was going on, because sort of like, you know, like this ambiance and this mood and everything was, she was like dressed in some little thing or whatever, and like these like druid looking guys everywhere. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Halsey here? Like, what is she doing? What is going on? And she was singing a bit and doing her thing, whatever. And then it led into the reveal of Diablo 4. And I was like,
that's a way to do it.
That's how you introduce a game. Yeah. I was like, now that's how you use a musical performance correctly, and a good segue to a game. Because like you have to see it, but like the ambience and the setting that they made for her performance fit the theme of Diablo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even her song, and you know, she was being really moody and everything too, and her lyrics were moody and everything was really like, it fit it. So we don't know what was going on. I was like, oh, actually, it's not a bad segue. And also, it wasn't long, which is the key. Yeah. I don't know if she did a half of a song or she made that song just for this, but I think it went on for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe, and it was done, which is great, because usually a lot of those performances, they do full fucking things, and I'm just like, I got to change the channel or whatever. I'd come back. I'm like, you're still on? Get out. Go home. Like, I don't want you here. So that was really nice. And then they actually did a whole fucking orchestra to introduce the Game of the Year nominees. So instead of having someone come up and they say them all, they actually it was Joseph Ferris, the dude from Way Out and It Takes Two. He was the one presenting the winner, but instead of him listing out the nominees like normal, he said, this is for the Game of the Year. And he told everyone, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything crazy this year. And then what happened was they panned like to the big old screen in the middle, and a whole orchestra was playing as they showed each game. And they actually showed each one individually, and actually gave like a couple minutes or like maybe 30 seconds, whatever, or so, to show the game for like a little highlight reel of each of the games. And I was like, that's, first of all, hella dope to present the Game of the Year. Like, so, if you want to make it a big deal, that actually helps a lot. Yeah. But
the nominations, real quick. So the nominations were
Oh, I can say it. Yeah, Stray, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Elden Ring, Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know the subtitle. And hold on. There was six. Hold on. Is it a Switch game?
No idea. Really, it was between God of War and Elden Ring. So like the other ones don't matter.
What was the last one?
I have no
I'm
idea.
missing one. Oh, I thought you had the list. No. Okay. But yeah, it was at least those five.
Yeah.
You know,
it was really between God of War and Elden Ring.
Like, yes, it was. A little part of me though was just like, what the fuck happens if Stray wins? Like, like what happens?
Game of the year, the cat game.
Like I was waiting for Joseph to like open the envelope, see the name, and like shit his face, like just shit his pants, like. Fuck, Stray wins. Like the whole world just shuts down for like a whole day. That would have been the. Anyways, but yeah, like, if you want to make a game or a game award seem important, like that was a dope way to do it.
Live orchestra makes anything seem important.
Yes, true. But like that was a dope ass way to make your last award seem super important. And then, but the thing is, if you should look it up, Flute Guy. Just type in Game Awards Flute Guy. For those who watched it, that man was going nuts.
Was he going ham? He was like,
he was. I don't know how you can rock out a flute, but he rocked out a flute.
He's fucking bringing it.
And he knew too, because the camera focused on him multiple times throughout the entire performance. And even when it didn't, he was in shot, and you could just see him just rocking out with that flute. And I'm like, what is going on with Flute Guy? And like I was watching it live, so obviously his comments, live chat, everyone, Flute Guy 2022,
Flute guy.
Or they're just like, got a Flute Guy or whatever. Like the comments were just going nuts. Like just everyone. I was like, yeah, what is going on with this Flute Guy? He is living his dream. You know what? He is living his life, living that best life, and I'm here for it. And even when they were done, he like got up and was like just as excited as everybody else. Like, yeah, like he was a treat.
So who won? I don't even know who won.
Oh, Elden Ring.
Good. I think it deserved it.
I don't think so, but
I do.
Anyways, I know. I'm just bitter that Stray didn't win. But yeah, so it reminds me of, remember back before you guys left to Texas, we were watching the Bethesda show E3 conference, and that one Japanese chick like stole the show with like how excited she was.
Oh yeah,
I don't know her name.
Yeah,
because I think they were hyping up Ghostwire Tokyo before like it had a name or whatever, and it reminded me of that. Like I got that level of like energy, which I haven't seen in like years at an award show.
When Keanu came on stage and he was like, "You're beautiful."
I didn't really feel it with that. Honestly, I didn't. Because like that was just one little thing. But like that chick, I don't remember her name, but she was like just awesome her whole time on stage. Just being and then the Flute Guy just, oh man. So that was like my highlight, the things I wanted to talk about the most, but not all was good. Some of it's not even game related, but those are the things I wanted to talk about because it's fun and maybe not something you're going to hear as much. Like Flute Guy. I don't know if I was going to talk about Flute Guy. But as far as awards, just real quick for you, I guess. God of War won 6 awards. The most, cleaned up. Elden Ring won 4. Stray won 2, by the way. Hell yeah. It actually won. It won best indie, which we need to have another podcast conversation about indie games, because among some of those items or the games, like Sifu was also in that list. And I'm not saying they're not big games, but like I have played Stray and I've seen a lot of Sifu, and like it's just the industry needs to figure out what indie means, because it's like you look at that and that's considered indie, but then I can go find something else that is way less quality and that's also considered indie. Like the gap for indie.
Yeah, because like what I said on our last conversation, indie is not defined by the style of game. It's who the publisher is, like the size of the publisher.
But not everyone agrees with that. That's the thing. Not everyone agrees.
It doesn't matter. Like that's the definition. Like there's the definition of an indie game, And that's the fucking definition.
Is there a definition?
Yes.
Is it Webster's definition? Is it under Webster's dictionary? Because if it ain't, then I don't care.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, don't look it up because it's gonna take too long. We can talk about it later. But anyways, the point is that we need, or at the very least, we need to get better at like accurately separating single A from double A to indie. You know, I think if we just do better at that, that'll be a really good help, because like to put Sifu and Stray in the same category as bunch of other smaller games, regardless of your definition, it's just like, I don't know. But if you were like best single A game or double A game or something like that, like it's like, I think that's a more fair assessment, and you could put more games that are more like amongst each other.
No, I mean, I agree with that.
And it would give
defining the awards more. Like what you could do. What you could do is separate it into like weight classes, if you will. So like, So like this, like how much money was spent on the games. So like you'll have weight classes. So like, whatever thousands, and then you get into millions, and you get into multi-millions. Well, like weight classes.
I think we can use that for defining an A to single A to indie or whatever, or double A to single A to indie. But I don't know if I would want to call that the title for the award.
Yeah. No, but like I think that's how it would be classified. I think it would.
But that would help with classifying. That would help classifying, like how much money was able to be put into this project. Because
for development,
even if you don't have development. Because even if you have a small team, if they have a lot of money, they can do a lot of work with, even if it's a smaller team. So yeah, I think that's what we should be working better on as an industry, because putting everything under indie is just too broad now. It's just too broad. The level of quality is all over the place, and some games are past that indie classification where it's more of a single or double A. Like when Biomutant came out, and that was a whole big deal. We started actually talking about like, this isn't triple A clearly, but it's not indie either. And people were actually starting to bring up double A back into the vernacular of gaming lexicon, and we need to do that again, because when I play something like Sifu, every time I've seen Sifu, I was like, this is not an indie game. Like, it's not the way I think of indie games. Like, this is beyond that. This is way better. There's so much more attention to detail. They probably were able to put much more money than your average indie game can do. So, but anyways, that's a whole nother separate podcast we can do some other time. But anyways, that's this week's podcast. A whole smorgasbord of things.
Yep.
But hey, that's the fun. And soon we'll be doing a podcast with David in person, because he's visiting for Christmas, and I can't wait. We're gonna be able to do one. It'll be a year. No, I should be 8 months since we've done one in person. But even no, because that one, when we did that one, the audio was bad. So I don't know if I was even able to release it.
When you came over here?
Yeah, I remember the audio ended up being bad. And at least one of them.
Don't remember.
But anyways, and this time we're not going to get coronavirus and shut down your time here. It's going to be great. You're going to be here all day. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get so much recording done. We're going to have good times. We're going to have chips and dip. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. I'm going to have all the soul bees, David. All the soul bees for you.
Sobe doesn't exist anymore.
I'm going to get some.
If you can find them,
I'm going to get some.
Hey, that would be a great Christmas present.
I'm gonna get some.
All right,
don't you worry. I got my people. I got my connections. I'm gonna talk to my boy Vanilla Ice in Crime City and get you some of that shit. Anyways, thanks for joining us, guys. A lot of fun this week. We will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. God damn it, David. As always, and we will see you next week. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.